What are output and requirements contracts in hypotheticals? Have you ever wondered how contracts work in real life, especially when it comes to business deals? Today, we will break down output and requirements contracts, which are key concepts in contract law. These agreements are often seen in business transactions and are governed by the Uniform Commercial Code. Let's start with output contracts. An output contract is an agreement where a buyer commits to purchase all of a seller's production of a specific product or service. This type of contract is beneficial for sellers because it guarantees a market for everything they produce. You often see this in industries like agriculture, where a farmer might agree to sell all their wheat to a food processor. On the flip side, we have requirements contracts. These contracts requiring the buyer to purchase all of their needs for a particular product from the seller. And like output contracts, the buyer does not have to commit to a specific quantity. For example, a manufacturing company may enter into a requirements contract with a supplier for all the raw materials they need. If the company decides to cut back on production, they still have to buy from the supplier, depending on the contract terms. Now let's look at the key differences. Output contracts focus on the seller's production, while requirements contracts center on the buyer's needs. In an output contract, the seller knows they will sell everything they produce. In a requirements contract, the seller is assured that the buyer will purchase everything they need from them. When you encounter these contracts in law school hypotheticals, remember that both types are legally binding. This means both parties must act in good faith. The seller should make a best effort to produce the goods, and the buyer should make a best effort to purchase them. Disputes can arise if one party feels the other is not meeting their obligations. Courts often use the unreasonably disproportionate test to ensure fairness. This helps prevent one party from being unfairly burdened by the contract terms. Also, keep in mind that these contracts must comply with antitrust laws. This is important to avoid illegal trade practices or price fixing. Let's consider a couple of hypothetical scenarios. Imagine a farmer who has an output contract with a food processor to sell all their wheat. If the farmer faces a poor harvest due to bad weather, they might argue that they cannot fulfill the contract. In another scenario, a manufacturing company has a requirements contract with a supplier for all their raw materials. If the company decides to reduce production, they may still be obligated to buy from the supplier, depending on the contract's specifics. Understanding these contracts and their implications is essential for resolving legal issues effectively. By grasping the basics of output and requirements contracts, you will be better prepared for your law school studies and future legal practice.